Sup everyone, this is Codex, and I wanted to start doing content, like as simple as that. And it's because of two reasons. Because there's a tier called BDSP that I really like, and it's kind of dying, and I would like to bump that up, have more activity, make people like get in discussion and stuff. And I figured out that this was a good moment for doing this, since we're having a survey. BDSP in 2024 is kind of crazy, I know, but metagames develop and people still there. Like, we have things like, I don't know, Gen 3 Advanced still be played, so why not a side metagame like BDSP? This is not what I want. In any case, there's a survey. There's a survey here that it's a representation of the actual BDSP tier currently. And I want to explain like why did I vote what I vote, and then we're gonna address some stuff because there's a lot of opinions on different threads. Garchomp, Weeva, and Starmie, basically. So, how enjoyable do you think BDSP OU is? Actually, I put a 6 because it's kind of annoying sometimes, but in my personal opinion, I really like BDSP. I think it's a fun meta game in the sense of it's like Gen 8, but doesn't have all the annoying shit that Gen 8 had, and there's no gimmick too. But it's also not like something like Let's Go, which takes away abilities and items and stuff. So I think it's a good place in the middle, but it got really forgotten. So I would say I actually would increase my vote here. How competitive and balanced do you think BDSP is? I think it's a 7 or 6 is what it is. Like, sometimes there's just instances where you find yourself in place that where you need to just sack something and nothing feels safe to have on the field. Like, yeah, there's such common doubles like Caesar and Heatran that that are the metagame, that the metagame revolves around them. So it's interesting how when you're deep into the metagame, those kind of turn into some patterns, and you need to figure out what's the best way of getting out of those patterns to make progress. So I think making progress it's weird in this tier. It's kind of hard, but also we're talking about breakers now, so it's definitely something. First mon, Weeva. I think Skitty made a really good pose on Weeva. I mean, ignore this, but Weeva, my guy runs choice band in this tier because there's no boots, and it runs its double stat. Also doesn't have knockoff, and the important part is that it runs assurance. So what does assurance do? Power double the target was damaged this turn. So that includes hazards. So let's say a rocker, a Heatran. You have rocks in, and then you have Weeva, and it doubles in power. So you do 120. It's like reverse pursuit, but you need hazards up, which isn't that hard because our defoggers are kind of bad. Like, you have Gliscor, Larias, Scizor, and that's about it. and the only viable spinner is Starmie. Don't use Donphan. Like, just don't use it. So this mon is very controversial. Has an amazing speed tier. Has the fastest relevant speed tier in the tier. So, and its typing allows it to outspeed common and powerful Pokemon in the tier like Latias, Alakazam, Dragonite, Garchomp, Gliscor. I mean, those aren't fast mon, all of them, but you just naturally, fuck my English, man. You just check them. Uh, yeah, I mentioned Lati. Um, and your offensive typing is just too good, and the fact that you have this, it's what pushes Weavile over the edge for me. And here Skitty mentioned some odd checks, to be honest, that like what you're using to check Weavile actually is like Heatran and Scizor, but they get overwhelmed very easily. There, here's Heatran. Here's an Assurance Conk, which is crazy. So Weavile is being voted on. I personally, I'm not sure how to feel about Weavile because it actually struggles more than you think. Like, okay, so here's my VR. Maybe I'll explain this in another vid because I want to do a commentary too, maybe with more people. But Weavile struggles with this too. Like, of course, Weavile has the advantage because it's the one attacking, but it struggles to come in. It gets revenge kill easily by like Crawdon's Aqua Jet or Inferno's Mop Punch, or just an Scarf Ape. It really suffers from Scarfers. Like, you can run Scarf on a lot of stuff, and they will surprise you. But the offensive pressure and how it restricts Builder, it's so annoying. Like Weavile makes you build in a certain way that you get very weak to other teams. So for example, this is a common Blissey team. These two get down by Weavile. This is also getting Weavile. This tanks only one. This Scizor, it's the dedicated check to Weavile because we have Blissey for Lati, and we have Spadaf Heatran for general support, so Blissey doesn't get wore down. Okay, this is not the best example. I think this team is kind of solid. But if we look at other teams, this gets 6-0 by Weavile, like literally. Like, you only have Scizor as an answer, and maybe Rotom if you call an ice move, which is possible because you have Garchomp Togekiss. But play correctly, Weavile destroys this. But that's the thing, Weavile needs more prediction than some might think, because keeping hazards, and to be honest, you can just click Assurance versus this team and not care because Assurance is too strong. In that case, I think they're right. I think Weavile is a problem. The next, my boy Garchomp. Man, my boy Garchomp, I made a whole post on him because we took turns, like everyone was addressing one of the brokens, and I went with Garchomp. My thing with Garchomp is that you feel dominant. Like, not only the player, not only the mon, but the player feels dominant because you have a plethora of sets that you can use, and they are designated to beat whatever you want. As like SD beats SD Dragon Club, it's Gliscor, you can Poison Jab Clef once, and you beat it. And you can Fire Blast this too. And basically your Garchomp can be designed to break the mon that you need to break for your team or for Garchomp itself to win later. There's some other answers for sure, but I mean I haven't seen Slowbro so much, but that's solid. Melodic tends to run Spadef. Rotom is very shaky versus Garchomp, to be honest, and just Starmie is better offensively versus it. This is our offensive check to Garchomp, and of course there's faster mons, but Garchomp is very dominant, and I don't think it should be banned. I just think it should be addressed as a potential issue. That's what I wanted to point with this post, and the fact that it is on the server, which I think is because I told Felix about it, and they probably agree with something that I said to him. But yeah, I don't want to go that deep into Garchomp because I already talked a lot about it. And Garchomp can act as a natural check to a lot of stuff, especially like Pokemon like Scizor or whatever that makes contact because of Brock team. Like it can come on an Aqua Jet from Azu. It can come on whatever it wants. It can block Ball Switch from Rotom. It could come on a U-turn from Celebi even. Like it's multifunctional. It has so many functions on a team. Its compression is amazing. Ignore these Deoxys teams. And yeah, I think Garchomp is undoubtedly the best mon in the tier over Heatran and Sis. Because of how less flaws it has versus the rest. Like Scizor is exploitable. Heatran is also kind of exploitable with Bulky Waters and Weavile. Yeah, I addressed the problem with Weavile, that it's it can be a surprise revenge kill. And it's frail, of course. The last one's Starmie, man. Starmie, I think, yeah. T-Ball made a great post on the Starmie. Like for analytic boosted Hydro Pumps, just two-shot everything. And it's so fast. Only like a Salmon Weave outspeed it. And the fact that you have who's here. Yo, I'm recording. Finishing thoughts on BDSP, and then we have a battle, friend. Okay, so the fact that you have a water offensively with analytic, which is crazy, and then you have bolting coverage. So dragons, grass, and waters are not a switching, which basically leads you to, like, I don't know, 2-3 checks, which of course is Blizzy. Blizz is one of them. What else? Yeah, like this one does like 70 to Scizor on the switch, and then you just kill it with something else after. This coverage is amazingly good, and its stats are very good too. Like it's not that frail, and it can run defensive sets too, which aren't the problem, but sure. Gastrodon, which is awful. Don't use Gastrodon. Sped up Rotom Wash, which I think is very cool, so I kinda invented that. And then you have Celebi, which is not a counter either because it dies to Ice Beam. And then you have Mew, which is great. Mew is a good mon. Sped up Mew really does well. But these mons are weird to fit in, except for Blizzy. But like, when are you fitting Gastrodon or Spadef Rotom Wash when you want this to be offensive? And Mew, I think Mew needs more exploration, but in general, Mew is it's a great mon. Yeah, and this is how every team loses to Starmie, which is a meme at this point, but I think we have to address what happens now that it's fast, powerful, and all that it offers, man. And I think it's more splashable than Weavile, but less than Garchomp. Oh, I put Recover here, which I didn't talk about. Um, Starmie tends to not run Spin because its typing and longevity lets it run Recover and beat Mon that it wouldn't without Rapid Spin. Mainly Heatran, like offensive Starmie can come on Heatran and recover up damage. Because you're usually, if you have a free turn with Starmie, you're not using Rapid Spin, you're killing them on. And you're using something else to get real hazards, like a defensive Starmie or a Defogger. Like with offensive Starmie, I tend to run just Defoxys or Defogladi. Double Psychic is fine, you just need like good answers with Weavile, actually. But Recover Me, it's pretty good. You can also run it with Defog Me, I would say. So Starmie is not here, but I put it on the question. I think a lot of people did. And then we have question about Drizzle for some reason, question about Blaziken for some reason, and Manaphy, which I can address Manaphy a little, but I don't think this would bring anything positive to the tier. Like, okay, I think we're back. We should be back. Hopefully that worked, man. So Manaphy. I think this is too much of an offensive threat. Like, it has 100 across the board. You don't even need to run that much speed on this. How much is Heatran? Yeah, like that's all you need, and this is gonna boost past everything, and it would just be another problem to handle. Like, you might start to see Spadef Clef, so that will make it even a worse Garchomp check, which is not good. I don't think this offers anything healthy, so Manaphy, no. And that's about it. I want to get some quick insights about my BR. Mr. Craw, I think it needs to be appreciated. That's what it is. It kills everything when it comes in. It just has shit ass stats. That's the only thing. But you slap a choice on this. Click knockoff. Crab hammer. And it's the best breaker. It's actually the best breaker. Like, even better than, I mean, it's the best breaker on paper, but Garchomp, Weavile, and Starmie are a lot more complex. What else? Latias has fallen down. I don't think it's an Asmon. Not by any means. It's not a strong. It's not Latios. It's Latias. It does its job, but it's not a dominant force. I would say S tier. It's mons that if you're building a serious team, you need one of these at least. A plus is not the case. And then some insights here. Roserade, I think it's the best grass type. It's amazing. Spikes, both spikers are really good, and I think they're underrated. Hazards have to be considered. Mew is also great. Mew is customizable to your needs. It can be like an all-out attacking Mew with Sludge Bomb for Clef. It could be Fizz Depth, defensive. It can be anything. Melodic. I think it's also something that you will think it's lower, but having instant recovery on a Poke Water, like Pure Water, it's a great alternative to Starmie. It's a lot bulkier too. It can be Spadef or Fizz Depth, and I think it's really great. And I think that's about it. I don't think there's Breloom. Breloom sucks now. I'm pretty sure T-Ball's gonna make a problem. But he says I find it very difficult to prep against, and I think Brother's pretty bad now. Like it doesn't come, it doesn't beat any water type, and as a grass type, that's a problem. And it's walled by every grass type, like Roserade, Tangrowth, and Celebi. They all walled it. So I think Brilliant's like falling off, which is funny because it was one of the best mons at the beginning of this meta. So yeah, that's that's gonna be my first video. Just a quick discussion on BDSP. Um, in 2024, we had a good circuit. Uh, I mean, it's a decent circuit for what we're doing, and we don't have the finals yet. I'm waiting for that, and maybe I can do a commentary about that if this goes well. See ya, everybody.